Welcome, sport fans, to another edition of Half Baked Sports. This time, we're full baked, fully upgraded, microphones, mixer, interface. Still using my iPhone, but if it works, why change that? So, with a face perfect for radio and a voice that'll haunt your dreams, we're getting ready to kick this off. And we're going to start with the most recent of the topics here is the JJ signing with the Arizona Cardinals. Definitely a surprising, we'll start here with the John and the Texas, or maybe I should say former Texan fan.
I'm moving over toward the Arizona Cardinals slowly.
Bandwagon.
Real talk. My questions was: is this an upgrade to that defense? Does it make the team a playoff contender? Which I think they were last year. They just missed it. With the two pass rushers they're gonna have with J.J. Watt and I forget the outside linebacker's name. We were just talking about him day before yesterday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Chandler Jones.
Yep. And those two guys are going to wreak havoc on the quarterbacks that's over there in that division.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's going to put Arizona in the driver's seat next year.
Yeah, because there's a lot of question marks for the NFC West. I would have to agree with that. They just did that trade, Goff for Stafford. I think it's an improvement. We already had that discussion a few weeks ago. But when it comes down to it, Garoppolo's still there. I think it's going to come down to which offensive lines hold up better. I mean, would that be a right to say? Yeah. And when you have a player like J.J. Watt, and he's going to elevate, I think, Chuck, do you think J.J.'s going to elevate the rest of that defense, don't you think? It's going to maybe cause a little competition there?
It's gonna. It wouldn't hurt to add him. Also, J.J. Watt is a perfect addition for that defense and the team because what I'm noticing from the Cardinals and the moves that they're making, they're reassembling what the Texans were a year or two ago. You have to think about it. DeAndre Hopkins there. You got a young QB that's a scrambler / passer, a decent passer of the ball.
Kyler Murray, I have to admit, he shocked me.
He can escape out of pressure. Then now you look on the defense side. What's the difference between Watt's situation now? I mean, at the Texans and now, there's no difference because we think about it. You had Jadeveon Clowney, who was a good outside linebacker, where you have Chandler Jones, who is a good outside linebacker. So now you have your pressure. The linebackers remind you of Merciless, both of them.
Yeah. Early Merciless.
And then you got Buda Baker, the safety in the backfield, and you still got Peterson.
And then
the corner.
And then you transition over to the offensive side, and with them getting Hopkins for what they got him for is the steal of the century.
Right.
And Fitzgerald still playing pretty good.
He's got at least, what do you think, two more years?
I think
solid
one more solid year.
I mean, if they keep him in the slot, he got another 3 or 4 years.
Definitely.
As long as he wants to play.
And then there's the rumors that are going around that Juju Smith-Schuster might show up and be on that team. That actually puts that receiving core in the top tier.
Oh, definitely.
And with Kyler Murray having those many options and that defense putting that much pressure on the other teams, I believe that they're in the driver's seat for that division. Not necessarily saying they can win the whole thing, but they are really on the way of getting there.
Talent-wise, definitely helps them. I think that it'll be interesting to watch it play out next season, definitely, because obviously there's a lot of talk with Seattle right now. Yeah. There's a lot of talk with what will the Rams actually become next season.
Because they got a quarterback coming in there that's got to learn a whole new system.
Exactly, and if they're lucky, they'll after camp. And of course, preseason, hopefully Stafford can hit the ground running. And if that's the case, then I think Rams would be in the driver's seat. But then take a look. San Francisco being in the Super Bowl not this year but the year before.
Well, San Francisco was decimated by injuries last year.
Yes.
So
and they're releasing Richard Sherman's not going to be there. They already
True.
said that.
And that
Sherman.
will definitely hurt their.
Hey, Arizona. There's another one for you.
Yeah.
But
they're secondary.
To throw this out here, because I was telling y'all earlier that I thought about this situation. Think about it this way. So what I just said earlier, they're remaking the Texans of a year or two ago, right? Mm-hmm. That was a playoff contender team, right?
That was a team that actually should have went to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so who's to sit there and say that, let's say the Cardinals trade Kyler Murray and a couple of picks, if not a player or two, to the Texans for Deshaun Watson?
That would be interesting.
Because guess what? The Texans get a quarterback.
Yeah. They still have that marquee quarterback.
And they get picks.
And Arizona doesn't have to give
Arizona
up
has to give as much
else.
because I already got what the Texans were.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure they'll do it. I think they're.
I'm just saying because
it's a viable option.
Because the reason why I say it's a viable option because think about it. If Carolina's willing to give up three first rounders and Christian McCaffrey, who's the top running back of the league,
yeah.
And if I was Deshaun, I'd be like, okay, take McCaffrey off that list, and I'll consider it.
Right.
Because why would he go to Carolina without McCaffrey?
And then also remember Tuesday we were talking about the no trade clause.
Yeah.
Yep.
What he designed that then?
Now, in this one.
Exactly.
See,
that was the main reason I thought about it. It's like, what he designed then?
What we were talking about Tuesday was there is always a problem when you have a no trade clause if that person decides he doesn't want to be traded to that team. With Arizona, if they were actually going to say, hey, let's trade Kyler Murray, a first round draft pick, and maybe a second round, a third round for the next year, that's equal
value.
Equal value.
It would be.
And you're going to pick up the tab.
Not to mention that would, with Kyle Murray up and coming, I mean, that would definitely improve the Texans' future.
And Kyler Murray gets to work with some new players coming in just as new as him.
Yep.
And you're building them together. You can get them dirt cheap.
Yep.
And if they're good enough to stay on the team.
Yep.
But the only downside for Kyler Murray is you're going from here to here.
Yep.
Yeah. But
that's not. But he doesn't have a no trade clause in his contract. Deshaun Watson does. So.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why I was talking. That's the reason I thought about it because we were having that discussion about the no trade clause. If that situation happened, now he got his homeboys that you grew up with in the league with,
and then he would definitely make that trade because he goes to a team that got players that he wants to play with, that he's already solid with.
Yep.
But I don't believe Arizona would make that trade. But I believe me, I'm all for it if they do.
I'm telling you,
all for it. I ain't gonna lie. I'll still root for the Texans because Kyler Murray is a great. Right now, it's not a great quarterback, but he's showing signs of becoming one.
Right, but I mean, Deshaun Watson's here, and I'm trying to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And J.J. Watt wants to win the Super Bowl, so if they could actually try to talk. The owners, if Hopkins Hopkins loves Murray. He literally loves Murray.
I get it.
So I cannot see him saying, "Hey, trade Murray for Watson." I cannot see him saying that. I'm not saying
he's saying.
I'm not saying he wouldn't do it. I just don't see him.
I'm not saying he's not saying it. I'm saying if I was the owner of the Cardinals, who does DeAndre Hopkins have the best chemistry with? Watson. They had the best chemistry.
They did.
So why not go get him?
Why not try?
Why not
at least try? I mean,
Cal McNair, even Cal McNair would not even refuse. Okay, I'd still get Kyler Murray.
It wouldn't be Cal McNair. It would be what's his name? Cicero. Whatever.
But
he would probably say yes.
The reason I said Cal,
because you're getting rid of that cap hit and you're getting a quarterback that you can build on.
Right. But what I'm saying is I would say in this particular instance, Cal McNair will interfere because look at Dan Snyder in Washington. He interfered with Haskins is there for that reason. RG3 was there for that reason. All those players that were there that the coaches wanted to pass over because they were like, hey, he doesn't fit our system. Dan Snyder overrided that. Cal McNair can do that.
But he's not that person. He doesn't know football. He's going to go with whatever
yes,
they
he did.
say.
He did override it.
No, I'm saying he's going to go with whatever
they say. No, what I'm saying,
say.
he did override it because remember, that's how the GM got there. Because remember, they had this whole panel, and the panel didn't agree to it. Cal McNair agreed to it. That's how that new GM's there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But anyway, and then of course you compound that with possibly picking up Juju to take some of that heat off of DeAndre. I mean that you're talking about trying to build for a Super Bowl. Sadly, with this kind of mentality, that you got one shot, so you're putting all your eggs in one basket. So I think that what they should do is they should stick with Kyle and try to build around him because look, you got DeAndre for at least another 4 or 5 years, as long as you can afford him.
Right.
Try to pick up some young talent, wide receivers, especially some ones with speed, kind of like what Texans do with Fuller, know, and then groom them.
Then there's another option right there. Will Fuller's going to probably be a free agent this year.
He is a free agent.
He is a free agent. Texans probably not going to sign him.
Then that would be better than Juju, I think.
You could probably get him for cheaper than what he was.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought about that point real hard. If I was the owner of the Cardinals, I already got most of the I got the key pieces off the Texans. Why not go after Deshaun?
Go after another key piece,
Why
which
not?
is Will Fuller also.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Mix.
That's what I'm saying. If he's going to be a free agent, which is most likely, right? I can get him for cheap if I can bring Deshaun in. Because then he's going to play for me.
Well, the only downside of Will Fuller is like,
we also have to. We really, I mean, do they have the cap space?
Yeah, that's the
other question.
That's what I'm saying. You can always drop some players off to bring in Deshaun, whatever, and then Deshaun might might even restructure his contract. You may never know.
Yeah, he may
I'm
do
just
that
saying.
just to get that ring. Yeah.
Just to get the ring and play with my guys. Yeah.
Yeah, compete with Mahomes.
Yeah.
Get that first ring out of the way. Because that's what they're building this up for.
And then actually
saying.
beat Mahomes because you will be in the NFC.
Yeah.
And he's still in the AFC. And that head-to-head battle for the Super Bowl would be way better than the AFC championship.
And
game.
if the franchises did it right, we would be looking at at least 2, if not 3 face-offs in the Super Bowl in the next 10 years.
Yep.
That's if the franchises know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's go ahead and move off on that one. I haven't seen any legitimate other than speculation on the Juju acquirement. It definitely makes sense on paper, but we would have to see how that actually transpires.
If he wants top dollar money.
The thing about that is,
if he wants top dollar money,
he wants top dollar money, but I think they can talk him down off of that.
Oh yeah, especially going to a talent. Like Arizona,
he's not going to get DeAndre Hopkins top dollar money. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, he would have to be like an AB on the team because the thing is the reason why Tampa Bay got all the talent because those people took pay cuts.
Oh yeah, every single one of them.
And he's young though, so his mindset is not like the older guys. But if I was Juju, I would I would fill that Arizona team out and say, hey, I'm not sitting here saying I'm gonna play for cheap, but at the same time, I'm not gonna break the bank either because I want to get on a team where we can go.
I'm playing for cheap. I want a ring,
and we want to go get rings, and the money will come later. That's as an older person thinking like a young person should, but most young people are like, I want my money now. I want my money now. I want my money now.
And that's basically what it's become because it is ever since the free agency. It's a me. I mean, and I don't blame them because if you don't get your money, when are you going to get it? I mean, not everybody can have the longevity like Brady, Peyton Manning, Andre Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins. These guys have
Aaron Rodgers.
They're going to be
Aaron Rodgers,
Drew Brees,
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning. All
these guys have lasted over a decade. I mean, that's rare. I mean, we've all heard the joke. NFL stands for not for long.
Not for long.
The average.
It's been a lot of them a lot of good players. What was Terrell Davis 4 years? I mean, one of the better running backs I've seen in a long time, and he only played 4 or 5 years.
8.
Well, and that's the average.
I think he played 8.
Terrell Davis.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
Well, the most running backs play for 12 or 13.
No,
Campbell only played 8.
Most running backs played for about maybe 10 years because the bodies beat up.
You have some average running back, you look at Frank Gore. I mean, he's still playing.
Even with the few players,
I'm sorry.
Even with the few players that have lasted over a decade, the overall average of the NFL career is 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's just based on
that's just straight up stats.
That's not straight starters.
That's straight stats.
That's just like if you are
those
backup running back.
Yeah, those are backups and all that stuff.
Yep.
Playing for life afterwards.
The starters,
so get your money when you can.
The starters are 10 years.
If you're a marquee player and you're playing well, get your money then.
Yep.
And that's what I'm talking about with Juju. I mean, you don't know when a broken leg or torn meniscus or anything can.
Alex Smith,
anything can sideline you forever.
That's why I would say I agree with y'all on your point. If I was the Cardinals, I would go get Will Fuller.
I would make a play for him. Will Fuller on the side.
Because he's not going to demand for as much money.
Juju, and make a shot at Deshaun just to see if they're willing to bite on it.
That's what I'm saying. I would get Will Fuller and make a play at Deshaun.
It definitely sounds good in theory. Let's see what happens.
I hope Arizona's paying attention to this.
Right.
Hey, we got some ideas for you.
Hey, one of our 10 followers, just go ahead and message Arizona and see if they're willing to do it.
Working there.
But no, so that pretty much covers the JJ to Arizona. I mean, I think he's going to elevate it. He's got 2 year, $31 million, 23 of it's guaranteed. The other notable acquirements or transactions that happened this week, Roethlisberger signs his 1 year contract with the Steelers, taking a $5 million pay cut to stay on the team. Definitely, I mean, I think that's smart because if you want to play one more year, I don't see another team that would take him. Do you?
No, I don't see anybody that would
No.
You got
No.
You got somebody that'll take him just for that 1 year, but it'll be another 1 year contract, but it wouldn't be maxed out.
Who's going to take him?
I can't think of one
salary
team.
cap hit.
Yeah.
He's in the late. He already won a Super Bowl, or he won two.
He won two.
He won two. He's already done everything. He's going on. He wants money now.
Well, now I'm like, you already made your money, so what are you really playing for?
He wants money.
If your player's declining, why are you still?
He wants more money.
Who's going to get it from Pittsburgh?
The
only place he's going to get it from is Pittsburgh.
I would be a backup sitting on the bench making $16 million.
No, somebody can make. No, he can play back. He can go back down. He can be like Flacco, go back down to a backup, making
$10 million, making $10 million.
But you're not playing.
$10 million as a backup,
and you're tarnishing your legacy. You're not Tom Brady where you're winning Super Bowls. Still.
How's it tarnishing? Did you remember the only time Joe Flacco played was when Drew Lock went down, right? Yep. And even then it was subpar play, but he still made $10 million. He still made his money.
He's at the Jets now, and he played when
I think he just retired.
Giants. I'm sorry, Giants.
He just retired, did he?
Who?
Flacco?
No.
Okay.
No.
He's
playing for somebody else now, and then he played a couple games.
Not playing. He's still a backup.
Well, he played a couple games last year.
Yeah, because the starter got hurt.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But he's still making more than the starter.
I would be Joe Flacco right now. I would comfortably.
He can't be making that much more.
I would be very comfortable.
We'll have to look that up for another time, though. Another notable is Golden Tate released by the New York Giants.
Surprise to me.
I still think he can play. So I mean,
he can play. That's why, like when we were talking about this Tuesday, how Chuck kept saying, we were talking about topics. What we gonna talk about? Chuck kept saying, the Texans can use this. Here's Golden Tate right now. Texans. There you go. There's another wide receiver right there.
No,
why not?
Because you got him. You got your whole receiver corps full of people like him. You need somebody like it.
No.
Like
younger. Fuller's a free agent now, right? There's no Randall Cobb might not make it through training camp.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
Brandon Cooks can get traded at any time.
You have a team. You have a wide receiver core full of number twos. There'll be good number twos anywhere else. They can never be number ones anywhere else.
You can get another number one anywhere in the free agency. I'm saying Golden Tate just to add him to your team.
What number one's in the free agency right now?
But
don't say Juju because he was number one there, and that's why he's in this position.
Hear me out. I'm saying this. You just sign Golden Tate, whether he's your number one, number two, or whatever, he still adds something to the wide receiving core. You can get him for cheap.
I think he's got enough in the tank that it might be worth it. But once again, it depends on what you think the chemistry is going to be like in your locker room.
You're still getting. You still have that doesn't work.
Well, I get it. So you don't think that he's going to fit for Texans? I get that.
Well, no. I'm not saying he's not going to fit. What I'm saying is y'all repeating the same recipe that the Patriots did. This is a hypothetical. This is so. I'm not saying.
So don't go off of that kind of a tangent. I'm saying we should look at it at its merit.
You have a wide receiver core full of number twos. The Patriots have a wide receiver core full of number threes.
Well, then I got it.
You're not going to go nowhere with
Giants released him. It looks like that would be a perfect pick for Belichick.
He's in the same predicament as the Texans.
Well, you still have
the receiver core is trash.
Edelman's still there, so he's a number one. Golden Tate's a number two, and then you got a whole bunch of number threes.
And you got Cam Newton there to throw, so.
The receiver core is dead last for a reason. Why would you repeat that?
All right, then where would he go?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. This whole little tangent.
All right, John, maybe we should have this conversation because he's in somewhere else's world.
Golden Tate can go to San Francisco.
No, he can go anywhere.
He can go
to any team.
No, I'm not saying he's not a good wide receiver. I'm saying what I'm saying is the reason not to go to Texas is because they already got a team full of him. The whole receivers are just like him, skill set wise.
All right. Well, anyway, and then the other one that was released, Kyle Rudolph from the Vikings.
Yep.
Bad move on the Vikings part.
Obviously, I think this is another clear example of they can't afford the.
That was a cap hit. That was a cap hit.
This is probably one of your best.
And if that's the case, who could afford him?
Wide receiver,
right?
The Patriots.
Patriots could afford him.
The Patriots got a $67 million cap space. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Golden Tate might wind up being.
Kyle
Rudolph.
Cam Newton
and Cam Newton.
Watch Belichick have a 10-win season next year.
Yeah.
You know what?
With a bunch of number twos.
I would be surprised if Golden Tate goes over there because he was there when Eli was there, and they kind of had this beef.
No, not the Giants. You talking Eli?
The Giants and the Patriots do have beef. The Giants beat us twice in the Super Bowl.
No. I would. Golden Tate, man. This is a.
It doesn't
business,
matter,
bro. That don't matter. That's old.
Okay. That's old stuff.
That's old.
All right, if you say so.
But anyway, and then of course,
the only other thing I want to add is the Saints releasing those two tight ends.
Jared Cook was definitely going to be released because he has a history of dropping passes or fumbling at key
But
moments.
what about Hill?
Because remember,
we had a bunch of key moments that we were watching.
Remember, it was in this past NFC
in the
playoff.
NFC Championship.
Okay, then last year he did it again against the Rams.
Yep.
Was it the Rams?
No,
It wasn't the Rams. It was the game before that.
Vikings.
Yeah.
He did it against the Vikings, and then the year before that he did it again against the Vikings.
I'm looking at,
the Rams. Sorry,
they released both their tight ends. The
Yes,
number one
because
and the number two.
Yeah.
because they both don't do what they're supposed to do. Like he'll catch the ball, but then he does all this extra stuff. That's why the ball gets knocked out. You're not securing the ball. They both do it. They both do the exact same thing.
I'm thinking they released them both for money.
Well,
they both commanded a lot of money.
But I mean, and then that's the problem. If the play doesn't match the money that you're paying, then that would
I will release you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, me personally, this is just me. I will take Taysom Hill, put him at tight end,
There you go. I like that.
and then keep Jaden Winslow because you guys Drew Brees re-signing. So
To
I
me,
mean,
Taysom Hill's just not big enough to be a tight end.
What you talking about?
Really?
He's 6'3".
I don't think he blocks. I don't think he's a blocker.
I don't need him to
Tight
block.
end-
He's not
tight
as-
ends block. They're
I don't
supposed
need him to block.
sometimes.
He's
don't
not
need
as
him to
big as
block.
Gronk, but he's got some size.
I don't
to
need him to block. He runs what is it, 4.4, 4.3? I don't need him to block. I just need him to go.
What was the tight end in Green Bay? Finley. He ran a 4.3. He was not
And he
a
was
big
fast.
guy,
But
his
he-
career as a tight end was shortened because of injuries.
Right, but Taysom Hill, on the other hand, he's fat. He's just as fast as him, and then that offense, the tight end's always free. That's how Jared Cook and the other guy was always freed open because they were paying attention to the wide receivers. It's just like the Patriots offense. Sean Payton and Bill Belichick are under Bill Parcells. They run the same dang on thing.
Well, they've done their research too with the West Coast offense.
With the West
and
Coast
a few-
offense. So it frees up the tight end. You're not paying attention to the tight end. Boom, he's over.
Well, I guarantee Jared Cook
Anyway.
gonna wind up with somebody. I guarantee you that.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up. The other two topics that we wanted to run through was the Russell Wilson. Obviously, that little
Dysfunctional family over
dysfunctional.
there.
Yeah.
He's fighting with his dad.
I can't even believe that they're considering
Trading him.
or getting rid of Russell Wilson. I mean, he is the talent of the Seahawks.
But they don't. His problem is his issue was, or is, I'm sorry, is that you have to think about it. They put everything but a line around him since he's been there. So that's why he's always had to run. He's tired of doing that.
And I don't blame him.
I would too.
That's definitely on Pete Carroll. That's on Pete Carroll.
With the exception of Lamar Jackson, all these scrambling quarterbacks that have to make these runs, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray. Yeah, well, Kyler Murray's still young. Dak Prescott, these guys have been doing this. You escaping Sam Darnold up there in the Jets.
Yep.
Run. What's the kid named Josh Allen? Or not Josh Allen. What's
Josh
the one
Allen.
in the
You're right.
Giants? The Giants quarterback.
Deion Jones. Daniel Jones.
All
Sorry.
you guys, these guys having to run for their lives because you won't invest any money to block for them, and you're shortening their careers. Yeah, get me out of here.
That's
I'm
why
sorry,
Andrew
get me
Luck.
out of
Well,
here. I agree with you. I'm saying get me out of here.
And I kind of have to agree with Colin Cowherd. Yeah, keep Russell, ditch Pete Carroll if that's what it comes down to.
That makes sense.
because that defense has sucked since the Legion of Boom left.
And why has
he inherited the league.
yeah. And so, because he cannot take credit for that, because if he could, then he would have basically rebuilt them as they left. He would have been able
did
to.
not do any of that.
No, he didn't.
Well,
Didn't.
he how do I put it? He did Pete Carroll stuff. Like he
did John Harbaugh.
Everybody tries to do similar to what like Bill Belichick does, because I have Sherman here, and let's say I have
Chandler Jones.
Not Chandler.
No.
The linebacker was
Yeah.
His name was Chandler.
Last name was Chandler. But
Cam
I can't-
Chancellor.
Thank you.
Because I have those two, I can put everybody up. No, you can't. The Legion of Boom, what it was. You should have paid those guys what they were and leave it at that. That's why Browner left first. Then it was Byron Maxwell. Then it was Cam Chancellor retired.
Yep.
Thomas left to the Ravens. And then
Sherman left.
Sherman left. So once they were gone, that front 8 or front 7.
Then it became the
done.
Legion of Doom.
They're done. because I couldn't throw it in the backfield is why I had to deal with your front 7.
Yeah.
But because you don't have a backfield, I'm throwing.
Yeah, and they got torqued.
That's it. So,
And of course, Washington is not keeping Alex Smith on the roster.
Oh, no.
So he's a free agent. And think I can see him. I can see him going somewhere else. As to who would take the chance on him, that is a valid question. Whoever that team may be, may wait until after the draft to see if they can't get somebody in the draft.
Frisco.
Well,
they already came to terms with Garoppolo.
Yeah, they come to terms with it,
have
but still.
Alex Smith as the backup.
Alex Smith.
Think about it, because Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go down. He has a history of that. Alex Smith,
solid.
He's experienced. He's a veteran.
I don't hate it. It would depend on how they left on that, because remember,
that was the organization. But
that was the organization, so it depends.
Shanahan,
it definitely. I know. It's Kyle
Shanahan. Yeah,
he can go to backup anywhere, and I would also say Indianapolis, because, like I say, Carson Wentz, but come six games in, he might be hurt. You need somebody.
So go to the Colts.
Go to the Colts. You need somebody that can come in there.
He can't go to the Colts. Colts are cap strapped.
Yep.
The offensive line is expensive.
And thanks to Wentz, they're pretty much tapped out.
Yep. They're cap strapped.
See if they can get him for cheap like they did, like the Patriots.
Actually, Chargers would be another good spot for him. Because I like Justin Hubert, but if he goes down, then Alex is a solid backup.
Denver.
And they've got cap space.
Denver has already said that. I think they're looking for.
They're sticking with Drew Lock for now.
They're sticking. They're going
to try to get. They're going to try to get Watson, but they can't.
They're going to try to get somebody in the draft too.
John Elway loves Drew Lock.
Oh yeah,
he's not going nowhere.
So anyway, that kind of wraps up this session. But take a look. I mean, there's a transaction log on ESPN, and I think there's even one on the NFL.com. Pay attention. Upcoming, we're going to be trying to do some draft analysis coming up next month. Obviously, the draft is late in April, so we still have about a month, maybe a month and a half before that happens. And what else is on the topic that we want to do?
I checked this out because we were talking about checking out the mock drafts, and I looked at one today, and they literally don't have any running backs coming out until like one running back in the early second round, but that's it. Not to the third and fourth round.
They have Najee going in the first.
The one I saw, he wasn't no running backs in the first round.
Well, you have to understand the mock draft, especially something this early, because they're not taking some of these releases and signings into consideration. So I don't pay attention to these mock drafts until they've gone through.
I like to look at them to see if they're viable.
Watch. After the first week of April, like when you're 2 weeks out, then they'll start fine-tuning them. Those are the ones that are more accurate.
And then you see how many of these college kids have got in some kind of trouble.
Oh yeah.
Dropped their job.
So these early stuff.
The combines would have happened by then.
Yeah, these early mock drafts rarely. I mean, they're going to go through at least half a dozen revisions over the next 2 weeks.
Well, I already know one thing about the mock. I saw a mock draft. Yes, Lawrence will be going to be Jacksonville.
Yeah, they still predict him as number one.
Unless they.
If Jacksonville was smart, if Jacksonville was smart, I would trade out. I would trade down from that position, because guess what? It's just like Sam Darnold and all the rest of them. You don't have anything around him to make him a good QB.
What are you trading for, though? What are you trading down for? You gonna take somebody's quarterback?
No,
no.
What I'm saying,
you're gonna take like two.
We just talked about. You can have Alex Smith. You can put him in there to stop the bleeding. Just to stop the bleeding. I'm not sitting there saying he's
it depends on what team you're talking to.
I'm talking about Jacksonville.
Jacksonville, okay.
I'm saying, hey, Alex Smith, come over here to stop the bleeding. Okay? You can trade down. You can probably trade for more draft picks and build around not say build around Alex Smith, but build around him. Get receivers and running backs and yada, yada,
wait
yada.
for another quarterback for 2 or 3 years later.
Or you can still make a trade for like, let's say, I don't know. You can make a trade for somewhere else. I'm just saying, trade out of that spot, because there's no point in me getting Trevor Lawrence, and then I got nothing.
If you have nothing left for it, and that's a valid too. Especially if you trade, if somebody's willing to trade up for it, they might be willing to pay a premium. We're talking.
They might trade the whole draft for him.
I mean, like definitely a number one, a number two, and maybe even a number two next year. I mean, that would be worth.
Yeah, but like like most business, it's right now. Put people in the stands. You want to put a name in there,
and especially
so the fans.
So you're gonna watch. Jacksonville's not gonna sit there and watch Trevor Lawrence get hit every single doggone game. They're not gonna come to pay to see that. They're gonna see Trevor Lawrence take the team that they got to a Super Bowl. That's what they want to pay for. That's what they're paying for. But there's no point.
I see what he's saying.
There's no point
so if you acquire
superstar.
some good draft picks over the next couple of years, it's kind of like banking up. Okay, look, and then all of a sudden, boom! I've got enough young talent that I can work with.
Right.
I see what he's saying. Yeah. It's not a bad strategy. It's not.
My only problem is you're passing up on. Well, take it back. Let me erase what I just said because Trevor Lawrence is not proven in the NFL.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
And as we've seen, number one,
look at Burrows in Cincinnati.
But he got butts in the seats because his play was matching up to NFL level coming from the college. But what I'm saying is since he had enough around him to do that, Jacksonville has nothing.
Well, free agency is still wide open. If you telling these people, hey, we're gonna bring Trevor Lawrence, hey, I want to go play with him, you might wind up being able to sign someone.
So I would agree to your point. If Jacksonville were right now putting pieces around him, they're not doing nothing. They're waiting for Trevor Lawrence and then doing it. That's poor play.
Well, yeah, because what does it do? It puts your number one at risk.
Right.
Yeah, when you draft high to get that QB that you want to build around, then that's backwards. Yeah, you need to start building before you go out for that.
Pieces in place.
That's what I'm saying.
I get you.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, keep an eye out for future videos, and let's have fun, gentlemen.
All right, March Madness has started. If you got anything you want us to talk about, give us a call. I mean, not a call, but give us a message.
Email.
Whatever.
halfbakedsports@att.net.
There you go.
And I'll see if I can't edit it and put it at the bottom of the screen.
Go for it.
All right. We're out.
All right.
This is coming out of the interface. It is a little clearer when I had it out of the.
It's raining men.
That's Chuck singing.
Hallelujah.
It's raining men.
I saw that at work. They were all looking at me.
Is that why you watch football?
I don't know, man.
You realize we're recording, right?
You need to dial it.
That's on video.
Oh, Josh.